Namaste, I'm Yogi Pradeep Ullal, and I have been given the responsibility to serve on this planet. I'm using Kevala Foundation as a platform and as a mechanism to serve on this planet, and I'm here to represent the incredible Himalayan tradition of yogis, and I'm available to all those beings who are ready to receive. And it's been an incredible journey out here in Kevala Foundation, and also been traveling across the world to meet some incredible beings and inspiring. So it's been an amazing journey all this way. First and foremost, Himalaya is the spiritual engine of this world. Right from so many thousands of years of that incredible knowledge base, they are all scientists. They have been propagating the depth of what a human instrument design should be. So it has been a process where one has to realize the depth of the design of this instrument. What is this instrument about? How have we gained this awareness through this instrument? So always it intrigued me, what is the best way? What is the best way to get this knowledge to actually pass through us? So we had to make this instrument ready enough, instrument pure enough, calibrated enough, and we should be able to access the purity of celebration of the bliss that is passing through all of us. And how can we achieve that liberation in the fastest possible way? So calibration, celebration, liberation, all three. How is it possible? So what was the mechanism? I was intrigued that there are so many ways, through martial arts, through dance, through so many art forms, one could have a beautiful expression. But what of the depth of exploration that we haven't done, and what is the way to do it? So I was very intrigued. What can we do? And I had no clue. I had not attended a single yoga class in my whole life. I have never had a physical guru, and I didn't know what else to do. I was not interested in the scriptures. I didn't know what to do. And then one day it just happened that I was told I should start teaching. I said, I don't know anything. What do I start teaching? I don't have a student. And this knowledge started flowing through me. I didn't know anything. So the very depth of this realization is the universe is teaching through us rather than we trying to teach. So I did not create anything. I was just open channel for this Himalayan Kriya Yoga to pass through. So the Gorakshnath Babaji is the one who is transmitting through this instrument, and I am just available as a pipeline, an undistorted pipeline, so that all the purest possible techniques can flow through. The scientific knowledge is just incredible. It just baffles us what we can do with this amazing science. So Kriya Yoga is flowing through this instrument. I'm just available as a beautiful available pipeline. So I can't say that I created it, but there is a depth of responsibility to sustain its purity and not distort it. There is a responsibility to keep this instrument supremely ready and aligned, so that I can represent that incredible science and deliver it to people, and also make sure I have a responsibility that it should not get diluted, it should not become a weak representation of Babaji. So Kriya Yoga, as it is, you see many versions of it across the world, but most important here is we should be unlocking the portals, the star portals, and make it ready. So we are here as a representations of the cosmos. We are terrestrial standing pillars of light. So lot can happen through this body, and Kriya Yoga is the incredible fastest means to decalibrate the original struggle that we have, which is suppression. All the suppression that we have in our instrument, all the incompletions, everything that is karmically struggle in our body can be released. And so Kriya Yoga is the most incredible, I would say, invention of Babaji, because the vent is open, the transmissions are on, so the Kriya Yoga is on. Incredible aspect here is a pipeline does not claim to be a source. It is just available as a conduit, as a just a connector, you see, just as a connector. So a pipeline is beautifully available. It does not have any such claims of being trying to invent a new way. It is just available. A channel means that we have a certain frequency of operation. If you are a channel of only one master, then you are connected to only that channel. It's like a streamline of a lineage of master. So if your channels are open, there is no one channel. We have several channels. We have millions and trillions of channels available to us. What channel we pick on to represent that particular bandwidth, that particular mastery, that particular language, medium, all these are attributes of that one channel. Actually, very interesting aspect of this is the Daiva Ichcha, that means the divine will and our will, individuated will, which is Swa Ichcha, both should merge. It's not like I want it. If I say I want it, maybe our personified ego self, gets us a feeling that we are connected to everything. We could be suffering from megalomania, that we are doing everything and we are guiding and monitoring this whole the energy system, that we are not privileged enough to be able to say that I am doing anything. So these channels unlock in a ready instrument, in a available instrument which is in a state of surrender. So at the same time, there is action to purify. So through the Kriya Yoga process, we will get to realize that there are so many unknown or uncharted territories in our instrument. They are called kshetras. That means there are points which are centered, centrifugation points. There are open portals which are called dwaras. Dwara means open portal. So the entry exit points of so many dimensional star transmissions. So how do we do this? Through awareness. So constantly we are learning ways. We cannot say this is fixed. There is no conclusion of how this should be. So when we are open to receiving, a new transmission comes in, unlocks a certain portal and gives you awareness of that particular dimension. So each dimension carries a certain frequency, a certain knowledge, a certain depth of connections. It is like unfurling the cosmos inside of you. So there is no one way. There is no such thing as, okay, if I unlock this portal, this is enough. We don't know enough to even ask. I think everything matters, the finer details. The godliness is in the finest details. We have to go through a process of toning, tuning, fine-tuning and attuning. The stages where you can make this instrument cosmically ready. We don't know enough to know. So this knowledge of this, the Saraswati channel of fine strand of current passes through us and unlocks us to the wisdom of the beyond. Right now, whatever we have gathered from education, from knowledge base of this entire human dimension is not good enough for us to access the higher dimension. All this is called aparavidya, whatever we know from this planet. But there is a beyond knowledge, and that is called paravidya. That is also called, there are ways of accessing the dimensions of light. They are all in a sacred geometric alignment. They are capable of passing through us when the instrument is ready. So this knowledge of Sri Vidya, which is unlocking our instrument, is called the Mahameru. It is like a 43 triangles in a certain sacred geometrical alignment, and the way energy flows through the point of convergence, and it just unlocks us to the higher possibilities. So that means we have, say, 28 star portals inside our instrument running from the base of the anus, which is the Ashwini star portal, all the way it curls up through the spine, enters through the crown and comes back and hits this point. And here is your last mandala, which is the Abhijit mandala. So it's interesting that if we connect to the moon has transited through these 28 star portal pathways and now beaming on us. So the moon beam is actually drawing the essence of the stars and bringing it to us. The sun is the source for all the life forms. So the sun and moon alignment is very, very crucial. People think they're just going to do balancing of nadis and get sun and moon. Well, there is much more. This science is just baffling. It's so surprising that each and every day we get to unravel something more powerful and profound, which we could not even imagine. So unlocking the star portals itself is like getting an access to the cosmic dimension we didn't know of, and it will also dissolve huge karmic biomemory. It will dissolve diseases. It will also unlock our access to so many portals of awareness that we are actually graduating ourselves from being just a human being into a cosmic being. So we have to use these mechanisms, and through grace. Grace is that force which passes through us and gravitates us back to the source. So it has to be something very profound. It cannot be just normal existential reality. It has to be, our system is completely reoriented back to the awakened cosmic reality, and so that whole component of what we think we are is completely transformed into a magnificent magnetic existence. So the whole beingness shifts, the awareness shifts, and all the alignment is like to get into the cosmic rhythm. The whole process here, instead of just only accessing the biorhythm of this instrument, we access the cosmic rhythm. Actually, it is very interesting. We are cosmic beings in a human journey. That's something which we have already forgotten. When we passed out of the birthing canal of the womb of a mother, and when we came out, we just were wiped out of our memory of our cosmic self, and we became a role player as a human. Yes, we are enjoying, celebrating, we are gods in amnesia. We came on this planet with a certain level of awareness, but that awareness was kind of wiped away by the so-called part of the play. It's called Mahalila. So once that wipe has happened, we feel that, oh, we are just a human. We have to sustain. We have to struggle to live the dreams of somebody else. So we are implanting a dream within us. We have a desire, we have a passion, we have a certain sustenance, we have challenges, we have gifts. All of it put together, a human journey is intriguing. The human body was actually a cosmic design and continues to be a cosmic trance receiver. We are not able to be privileged enough. We have been programmed to think that human body is weak. We have to now just protect it and just live a sane life where we are balanced enough, where we are mentally, emotionally balanced enough to work through this body. Yes, we are humans. We still are living off the earth's bounty. We still have to sustain ourselves. We have to use all the best of herbs, the best of the bounty of this ecology that is passing through this planet. So we are actually privileged that we are capable of absorbing the cosmic vibrational flow, which is the Chaitanya Shakti, passing through each of our atoms, all our cells. We have a certain moment by moment awareness passing through us. Consciously aware, if we are still humans with a cosmic glimpse. We can't say we know everything. We just have a small glimpse of the cosmos, and that's probably good enough for living a very beautiful in life on this planet, where we can sustain ourselves and still be able to find ways to liberate from the struggles. Intriguing aspect of the design is the design itself is so intriguing part where we move from the darkest dark into the lightless light. So dark was also part of the design. Fear, anger, shame, guilt, all are attributes still of the genetic stream. So that means it is part of the design. Who invented karma? We didn't welcome it as only way of living. But there is a conscious memory which enables us to realize the difference between the light and the dark. So this whole life is nothing but a crazy dance of light and shadows. So we, instead of running away from the shadow, we just accept it, that shadow exists. Where there is light, there is shadow. This is part of life. Fear has been a kind of an agency within us. It is working as a background frequency. It is there in the core of us. It is there. Yes, we have fear of incompletion. We have fear of separation. We have fear of not being able to come to pure alignment with everything. So actually, it should remind us that we have not done enough and we should work harder towards the goal of a human journey is to access the cosmos in this form, so that this is a gift. Human instruments, 7 bodies which put together are influencing us at this point. So when we realize that the whole cosmos is using this instrument to guide and channel us through this process, first fear is that can we take it? Can we handle it? We are so insignificant cosmic dust, and at the same time can we actually access the cosmic knowledge? Can we handle the depth of transmissions? Are we privileged enough to know ourselves? So there is a huge bunch of doubts and that come to us because our education system has never talked to us about our cosmic self. They only told us you have a dream, you have to follow your dream, and you have to live in the constant state of incompletion, so that we always harbor this fear that we are not good enough. We are living in a competitive atmosphere. We want always ourselves to be successful, and the fear of being unsuccessful, fear of being incomplete, it's already embedded in our cellular memory through the influence of our socio-economic situations. So constantly we are operating in a survival mode. The sustenance mode itself, once we don't cross this, we cannot actually access the spiritual self. We are only worried, are we good enough to handle this level of pressure, challenges? So we are always under the threshold. So the spiritual journey is to cross those thresholds. We have to cross those milestones. It is taking immense ability for us to realize that we can rise above the huge stockpile of dreams that are passing through us and trying to tell us that they are more powerful than our real self. Though each one of us having a unique reality. That reality is something which is a mix of all the elemental components inside us, also our so-called connection with our karmic biomemory, which is prarabdha. So all of them put together will define your quality of life. At the same time, there is also a possibility. It is like a breakthrough opportunity which comes when you connect with the realized being. In a flash, your memory comes back that yes, what am I come for? Am I really going to surpass this so-called programming, the social conditioning, all the limitations placed, and that's when the surge happens to us. There has to be an urge. Unless that urge happens, you will never have a surge. If you never have a surge, you will never have the ability to merge the entire instrument into that point of bindu. Unless that merge happens, there is no convergence. And that convergence is completing us from the human struggle and enables us to access the cosmic gifts. And that's when we realize that we are not just a fragmented fractal hanging around in the planet Earth. We're just passing through this golden beam of light, and we are all privileged enough to be the cosmic self. Very interesting, right? When I was 1 year old, I clearly have this memory of drinking milk from my mother, and I opened my eyes. I saw everything that was passing through me, and I said, I have come back to this earth again. I have a sense of feeling that, I am back again on this same planet. I had this feeling that, why should I repeat this journey? Why am I sent here? I had no choice. I came here as an emissary, as a messenger, and there was so much of role play to do, but I had to still go through a human journey of limitations, challenges, pain, suffering of not being complete. So all these are part of the learning. If everybody is suddenly awakened and without a clue of the experiences, the body of experiences, then we are not capable of being able to deliver the awareness to people. So we have to go through. So this body went through a crazy amount of challenges, right from scoliosis to irreparable eye infections, so many pains in the body, so many difficulties of watching my mother going through so much of trauma. So I realized that there is so much that we are not capable of doing. What there should be a science which is much beyond this so-called suffering and disease. How do we sort this? Watching my mother go through the pain and suffering and her losing her to cancer and being incapable of helping her made me feel so incomplete and so destabilized that I just had no choice. I said, if I cannot achieve a certain level of mastery in accessing this energy dimension, I should not be able to live on this planet with responsibility. Something woke up. My mother's death was the most powerful explosion inside me. I said I could not help her. I felt a deep sense of regret. I felt as if my whole world crashed. There was no way I could realize anything but find solution to this struggle of human dimension, that we are always succumbing to disease. We don't have enough awareness how to rise the frequency of this instrument. Day and night I was in desperation. I cried and asking for divine help. I wanted learning to happen to me. So I think that was the most incredible game changer when I realized my spine is in such deep trouble. I was crawling out of my bed. I didn't have a job. I didn't have money. I had lost my mother. So all things came crashing. And that was the sense of incredible desperation that I had to surpass. What do? There's no choice. If you're not intense enough, you would miss that moment. Actually, the depth of pain, the depth of suffering, the depth of all these panic attacks that came to me, that I don't know enough. Why am I here on this planet? What am I meant to serve? I don't know anything. What is going to happen? What is that I'm come here for? The whole explosion of all the emotions, all the depth of calling, and yet I'm not there. I felt like as if if I don't work on myself, I'll be cheating myself. There was no teacher. There was no one to guide me. I started intuitively working on this instrument and saying what can happen to this instrument. Day and night, 24/7, I was working on this. In a year's time, I felt like all the cosmic gifts started unfurling in me. So many siddhis, yoga siddhis started passing through. As if I felt like, how can I even realize that all that I knew about this science was completely smashed. All the logic, all the physical aspects of this instrument, I saw gifts passing like in an instant flash. This body was getting healed just by an explosion in the brain. I could see Wi-Fi signals passing around me. I could see light. I could see sound. I could see the depth of so many incredible master dimensional flows passing through this instrument. It was surprising that what could happen to this instrument. Can I really handle this, the intensity? It lasted about 2 years of sacred transmissions into this instrument. I was prepared, and for 6 years I was only puking a clear liquid. I was purging. The force would pass through this instrument and I would purge. Every day I was wondering, what am I purging? And the Kundalini would rise and pierce through the skull and reach the sun point, and she would do it continuously, intensely. I was asking, what am I here for? What am I doing? And then the Shivapath happened. The sacred transmissions from the core of the source passed through this instrument, descending down instead of coming from the base of us. The force came from the top down and completely rewired this instrument. It is not one-time event. It was like years and years of preparation. So there is no such thing as one event, because awakening is not just going to happen just like a flash. It is a process of unfurling. It's a process of unwrapping those gifts and able to make a depth of realization through each one of them. So it was a constant learning process. Even now, I wouldn't call it that we are complete. If we are complete, we cannot be on this planet. We would be ejected out. So a part of us still remains incomplete, so that there is a project of unfurling unwrapping, and constantly we are being upscaled with something much, much beyond the paradigm that we think we know. So constantly awakening is a game changer, yes. At the same time, we should be able to have the courage to drop what we are right now having so that we can access even more higher levels of awareness. So it's a constant remembrance that there is something beyond and which we don't know, and we are privileged enough if we can access it by being in surrender, by being in acceptance, by being in trust, by being in complete level of openness to mega possibilities. As a human awareness, we are actually nothing but a hollow pipe, and all those thoughtrons from higher dimensions are passing through us. We are not actually awake enough to realize that we are a trance receiver. All of us are trance receivers. So there's no such thing as only a privileged class will get it. All of us are privileged enough to access, but we are not open enough. We don't know enough that there is a higher possibility. So what happens to us is we live in a constant, like a zombie mode, operating on only dopamine rush of the food. So all of us are numbing ourselves. We always think that life is all about accessing comfort, accessing the fear of losing those comforts, constantly make us feel that we are only here to operate a sustenance model. We have to live our dreams, and all the time we think about things that we can get. But in an awake state, we are actually privileged enough to realize that this whole channel of light which is passing through us, we are not doing anything about it. We were so lost in our drama, lost in our projections and dreams, that we became so engrossed that we lost the ability to realize all that is passing through us. Light is passing through us, the sun is passing through us, so we are nothing but a fantastic projection. Human is a projection. The soul has projected the body. See, if breath is happening through us, we are not really breathing. We all think that, oh, since breath is already happening, we don't have to focus on the very life force which is passing through us. So what do? We are always engaged in outside activity. We have inner dimension, we have outer dimension. All our life we only talked about the outer dimension. What food can we eat? What clothing can we get? What job can we get? What houses, investments, banks, loans, everything is all about outer dimension. The whole aspect of finding love outside of us. Constantly we have been programmed to be outward. It's called Bahirmukhi. We are always outward. The whole process was we were never inward all our life. We didn't even realize that there is an inner dimension. Moving from outer dimension to inner dimension itself is awake. We have dreams, but those dreams are still processing various levels of our own engagement with life. We always feel that we want to have a desire, a passion, a dream, but all of us are in the process of realizing it. But are we alert enough to see through the finer details of life? So awake, aware, alert, awakened. So that means awakening is a constant state of being. It's no longer that you had a sad day, you had a happy day. All of us are going through this wave of happiness, sadness, anger, fear. We are going through a range of emotions, but if you attain a consonance, like you're consistent, an awakened state is consistent. You do not try hard to be that, because you come to that point where you could still the thought process by being in a state of shunya. You are a zero. We are nothing but a magnetic power head. Inside our brain we have a magnetic power head, and all the current is passing through us. The whole purpose of it is to make us so powerful in our field of energy that we are constantly protected, guided, and instrument is calibrated enough. So awakening is that magnificent shift which does not allow you to become an ordinary struggler anymore. There is no such thing as, oh, I am hungry, so I will not be able to survive. We will know how to draw the energy from the sun. We will know how to draw energy from the earth. We will know that we are protected and guided because something magical takes shape in the form of the presence. Two things very important. One is the presence, the magnetic presence, that we are, the cosmos is speaking through us. All these transmissions are coming through us. We are privileged enough to have the presence of the masteric dimension inside us, if only we allow. And the essence is, already the human body has been embedded with all the chemicals required for it to sustain a disease-free instrument. The awakened state is to utilize all of them. All the chemicals, all the bliss chemicals, all the portals, all the elemental force, everything is already given to us as a gift. All it makes sense is to unwrap these gifts so that we can truly empower ourselves to realize that we were already come with the gifts, we didn't know how to use it. So, awakening is a constant remembrance of how to unwrap these gifts, utilize it to its highest potential. We come back to our highest potential, and that potential, creative intelligence, it is constantly buzzing inside us. It's so exciting that what else is possible. An awakened being is never bored. He does not even question then why is something happening in a certain way. We just come into that magnificent possibility that let the whole cosmos use this instrument. We do not try hard to make things happen. It just happens. Events happen. Opportunities come through you. You become more and more magnetized. You become so intensely realized that there is no such thing as dreams overtaking us. There is no such thing as, even though liberation is a dream, 7th level dream, but we are not straight away dropping the idea that everything is part of this game. So those who see through the game, those who see through the joke of life, an awakened being is celebration, constant celebration. Awakened being is accessing the profound gifts of the bliss. That is our origin. Our origin is bliss. The science is that accessing the art of living through this blissful way, art of first able to see through this innermost gifts, able to grasp those strands of transmission coming to us, able to live life in such a profound way that the finest details are already visible, you can see through. The first sign is ability to sense and feel. The cosmos is using us as a mechanism as an expression. What is the depth of our expression? If we have not explored enough, we will never have an experience. If we don't have a depth of experience, we will never have the purity of an expression. If you don't have purity of expression, you will not have elevation. So, unless that elevation is not just a verbology, it is a depth of presence of the whole dimension that was meant to flow through us. Each of our awakening can be very unique to us. It is not that we can compare and measure with anybody else, but we were part of a privileged process where the force is using us as a certain mechanism, that the expressions could be multifarious. It could be, we don't know what extent it can unfurl itself. But a part of us realizes that we are not privileged enough to know everything. We will only get a glimpse, maybe 1% glimpse of the possibility, and that is good enough for us to sustain that extraordinary, magnificent life which is passing through us. And awakening is a privilege. It is not supposed to be misused nor abused. It has to be a meant mechanism for serving. As long as we are able to be a channel of light, able to serve selflessly, tirelessly, ceaselessly, effortlessly, that means it's a sign that an awakened being is present on this planet. It's a gift, because we become avaduta, a messenger of the divine. We have no claims that we are it. We are just available. And that available state is, it's called a lesha vidya. That means we are a small dot of cosmic dust. In the extent of the cosmos, we are just irrelevant and insignificant. But that awakened state is that even though we don't know everything, but we are a part of that, that we are complete within. Just that the awakening is a discovery It's part of the game. From first we are complete, and then we pass through a state of incompletion, and then we come back complete. So it's a part of the master game, a conspiracy, that we pass through this whole channel and come back again and celebrate the whole journey of completion. The way the cosmos has designed, it's called krama. There is an order. Yes, this order says that already things are in place. The celestial bodies are spinning. What is the energy that keeps the celestial bodies in a spin? This is also Kundalini. Just that celestial Kundalini is not seen by any one of us. We wonder what is the gravitational pull, what is the axis spin, what is an orbit. All these are engaged in this entire cosmos as part of the krama. It's called kramanusara. That there is already a certain order placed based on space, time, causation. All these are part of the design. Now, as a human instrument, we have a mechanism inside us which connects us back to the cosmic state. So it's like a sensor inside us. A sensor is there as a powerhouse, a small little, very bioagreeable process. It is just that we are having a certain component of the cosmos. We cannot take the whole cosmic light as is. We have a small bio-lightning inside us. Kundalini is a bio-lightning. It passes through the central pipeline of Sushumna, or it could use any other channel like Chitrini, Vajrini, Brahmini, depends on the levels of readiness. Kundalini is our birthright to access. Kundalini is also called the heaven on earth. What it means is, it unlocks us from just being an ordinary existential human into an expansive cosmic being. How? It first processes the whole instrument as with the ability to have unity awareness. It joins, it's like a joining mechanism. We feel a sense of separation with everything else. So, the very presence of the divine inside us has been underrated. We feel that divine is always somewhere far off. How do we know the divine exists inside us? Unless we have an experience beyond the biology that we know. So, Kundalini enables us as a bridge to access our cosmic knowledge, our awareness. So, it creates the right platform for us to first of all experience the bliss. Bliss has been locked in most of us. We only have pleasure. We only have a certain dopamine rush inside us, serotonin, all these chemicals which are making you feel only a small little flash of awareness and of that there is a divine component in us. Kundalini is not so weak that you will have only a flash. It will give you the most incredible, sense of bliss. A human body in a normal situation can only have 20 seconds of orgasm to its peak. But Kundalini is like an explosion of orgasms, of the multiple orgasms in this instrument, that the whole cosmos is passing through you. Your whole body is contracting to its core and then expanding into the cosmos. That's an incredible feeling of being the most profound mechanism of flow. What we felt as flow, we only have bloodstream flowing through us, currents flowing through the nerves. Kundalini works through the nadis. It unlocks every single of these nadis and makes it a primal flow. Everything starts to flow. You don't feel that only one part of your body. You feel the whole beingness. We have 7 bodies. Kundalini is a bridge to all the 7 bodies. Kundalini is also the master connector to the core of the earth, to the core of the sun, and eventually to the central sun. So, the mechanism is already set. We did not design it. We are just privileged enough to access the full potential. And if we don't come in the way, if we don't have these suspicions and doubts of how it should happen, we don't come logically in the process. We just are capable of becoming responsible. Kundalini is a responsibility. Why? First and foremost, if we are ready to serve selflessly, if the cosmos has chosen you as a pipeline, as a messenger, as a connector, it is also making you privileged enough to get the full extent of the expression. Kundalini is the highest expression of this instrument. There can't be a better the texts say that 325,000 expressions. We don't know, it will unfurl the gifts of the art inside us, the science inside us, the depth of bliss, the depth of love. Kundalini is all about love, but love not for someone else, love for the self, which is already a self-ignition mechanism. When it comes alive, we don't become separate, we do not try to become difficult. It's a sense of ease, an effortless effort, where there is effort to keep this instrument strong enough through yogic process so that we can handle the intensity of this magnificent bio-lightning inside us and able to handle the depth of the huge orgasmic, explosive, intense process. So the nitrification that happens inside this instrument, that means nitrogen is in the atmosphere. It should also create its wonders through us through nitric oxide, which is unlocking all the arteries, all the nadis, so that we prepare this master flow to pass through us. So Kundalini is often referred as an essence of the Divine Mother, a feminine spirit which is there inside us, coiled energy. It is not fully expressed itself, it is coiled. Minute it gets the signal that you are ready to rise, it has a spiritual calling, it rises to its full extent and bursts open through the center of the brain where there is a sacred magnetic point, we can call it Shiva. So this whole process of Kundalini is the merger of the Shiva Shakti, the feminine masculine aspect of us, the depth of the power which is possible through this instrument in a safe way. Kundalini can become difficult for people who are kind of in loggerheads with the very design itself. Once we get access to the knowing of the design, how this instrument is capable of unfurling, that's why I felt that the depth of Himalayan Kriya Yoga was to prepare us for a safe and profound Kundalini rising. And Kundalini is our privilege, it's also a messenger of the divine inside us. So we have to honor it with the depth of devotion, determination, dedication and intense, indomitable spirit to be able to handle the depth of these shifts that happen to us and allow the cosmic dance to happen through us. Incredible aspect of this is we think we are in control. We are not in control. The minute we try to use control and manipulation and trying to have an upper edge over this so-called, first instance, I ask people, are you ready to die? What does it mean? People are scared of the process of dying. I am not good enough, I have incompletion. Kundalini is meant to be the completer. It is the one which bridges and serves as a catalyst for completion. Now Kundalini is treated with so much fear because it was never part of our education system. We were only told that all you have to do is, we are running an autonomous system, mechanism is operating on its own, you don't have to do anything about the body, you just have to present yourself as a educated being. What education did we receive? We did not know about this body at all. We did not know its sacred powers. We did not know its potential. Kundalini is urging us to access our sacred inner creative intelligence. It is asking us to bridge this cosmic knowledge and bring those gifts to this plane.